European Central Bank decreases the interest rates last week for the third time this year. IMF warns that total world debt will reach $100 trillion mark at the end of this year. But no Donald Trump nor Kamala Harris has clear opinion on that. This is the very first year when the interest bill exceeds US spending on defense. Today in Media and Report you will hear a story from a Latvian town Valka, which is right at the Estonian borderline. Vigants Lešausks is the CEO of Iglu Soft and will answer questions by the author of Leaders Ask podcast, Larsson. I'm thrilled to talk to Mr. Rolandas Barysas, the editor-in-chief of Verslo Žinios. We are going to talk about Lithuania's next 4 years as the parliament elections landed last Sunday. What's in the CFO's heads these days? What they think of financial health of their own companies, competitors, and economies. Thanks to SEB research, now we have an answer to that. A lot of things to cover, so let's get started. My name is Kristaps Petersons, and I'm the author and host of this weekly internet show about Baltic economics. It's called Media and Report. This time I'm reporting outside of the studio, as you can see. You can check out us at the Spotify or YouTube under the channel Media and Report. If we look at the numbers, then Lithuania is doing the best when comparing to all three Baltic countries. After the recent parliament elections, the country leaned towards right-wing politics, which is pretty opposite from what's generally happening in Europe. Of course, there are some explanations for that as well. First of all, Ingrida Šimonytė, the current prime minister, hasn't showed the necessary leadership skills to keep all things in politics together. Second, Lithuania generally does not have majority of the problems that currently concerns the Europe as a continent. Everyone now puts the trust in social democratic bloc to strengthen Lithuania's economic course and make sure it does not come off the rails. I had a wonderful opportunity to talk to the editor-in-chief of Verslo Žinios, historically the most powerful business daily in Lithuania. Mr. Rolandas Barysas is our guest, and here also his opinion about what's coming next in Lithuania.
Looking at the picture we got after the first part of the election, the picture is not very clear because, the presently ruling party of conservatives, as we call them, they have one seat less than Social Democrats. So if to have the general picture, central right parties, which are now in a coalition of the central right parties, which is now presently in power, has one seat less than the central left party, Social Democrats, who were not at power for about 8 years. So that indicates the shift to the left, but it would be a very too simplified approach to the outcome of the current stage of the elections, because it's just one seat difference. And if we can evaluate expectations of the market, how people were looking and what they were expecting to get, they were much more in favor of the left party, Social Democrats, and it looked at the beginning, if you take the public opinion polls, that they will get very big majority, a very big difference from the right, but it's not happened. So what it means for a political landscape, it's quite possible that right parties or central right parties even can get a majority after the second round of the elections. But again, it will not make more clear the political landscape in Lithuania, because none of the parties, neither on the left, neither on the right, will have the overwhelming majority to to form the government. So what it means that in any scenario case, any winning political power will need coalitions. And when we go down to the list, so it's again not very clear picture. All those coalitions look very, very colorful, and it might be very shaky. So where we'll head, let's wait. The Sunday we will get more clear picture, but to my mind, it will be not very easy to create a stable and majority in the parliament for neither for left, neither for the right.
Yes. So you don't really believe that Ingrida Šimonytė's power can actually create a coalition with Social Democrats, and that cannot work together at this point.
It was very not strange, but in principle, very principle fight for the power this time, and each party, both on the left and on the right, made a very clear statements that they will not go together. Only at the end of this rally, Šimonytė party said that yes, they might consider the coalition with Social Democrats because there were quite a long list of the, let's say, very radical parties trying their fortune in the election. And in the beginning, it looked that they might be successful at certain figures. That's why conservatives or Šimonytė party, central right party, said that yes, in the sake of the stability of the state and the sake of the not allowing to those radicals to take power, they are ready for a kind of sanitary corridor and even can go into a coalition with the Social Democrats. But it was a very strange rally, and other parties which are not in power today, but the opposition parties, they somehow decided that they already on the white horses going into the parliament and they will win soon. They practically burned all bridges to form the coalition with the rightist parties or conservative party, saying that no, it's not acceptable. For us, it's not acceptable to do anything with the conservatives, and they will go on their own and they will create their own coalition. But now, seeing such a little bit shaky situation, I don't know how it will contend. We know that politics is the field where compromises usually come. Even when you don't want to make compromises, sometimes circumstances can force you to choose something different. And it could be very painful after such a very clear statement that we will not go together. So we'll see what the outcome will be, because both left and right parties put them in very uncomfortable situation in the present circumstances, stating that they will not go, or they will in any case they will not make any coalitions with each other. So difficult to say how it will happen now.
Of course, you said that the elections are not over yet, but we see that Social Democrats have made this leading position at this moment. What does it mean from the perspective of electorate? How people are actually looking at the country and how they want this to develop further, if they have chosen Social Democrats?
It's always a mixed picture. Each party each party rhetoric sounds like people want to change, yes. But if we look at the current statistics, who coming into the parliament and how many seats they have, yes, conservatives lost some seats, yes, but they have a good opportunity in the other part of the election, because when we are choosing already personalities, yes, they have quite many people going into the second round. It's about 32. Social Democrat has 35. But whereas in some cases they will have direct clashes. Yeah, so it's not clear how many votes they will get. But in principle, it's quite interesting that our society a little bit divided. Yes, and they divided not at the big differences in figures. So there are part of the voters who would like to continue in such a shaky geopolitical situation, in such uncertain economies, looking at the neighbors in Estonia, for example. Some of them say, "Oh, we're not very happy with the Conservatives over these 4 years, but we prefer a more stable course of the economics in the country. That's why we're voting for Conservatives." By the way, our newspaper or our media, which represents more right approach, more liberal approach of the economy, we were predicting that it might be not the picture so clear as the Social Democrats were saying. And we had predictions that it might be surprising, but Conservatives will get much more votes than anybody can expect. And it's happened in the first half. So I should say that part of Lithuanians would like to have more stable policy, more predictable policy, even not having being very happy about what they see in the direction. Because there are some issues where they would like changes, but when you choose two things, you choose which has less probably unexpectancies, but taking other part of the nation, they would like changes and they are not happy. So I don't say that it's a past situation, but it will be for anybody to have majority will be difficult. Of course, those economic policies could be different a little bit. Social Democrats are in favor of higher, for example, taxes. Especially, they would like to tax those more wealthy people, and they were not hiding behind any rhetorics, moderate rhetorics. They were saying, "Yes, we will tax you. It's enough. We need more money for medicine, for education, for everything." Even for defense. But defense issue, by the way, it's more or less agreement among all parties. So we don't have any fluctuations here. All those radicals who had their own approach to this issue, they are all already behind the line which gives the access to the parliament. So if to take national stability or national defense issues, there is no contradiction. There are no contradictions. Or if they are very minor, to buy that kind of rocket or that kind of rocket, that's not essential from the point of view of the voters. But of course, on some other issues, there are differences. And depending on which party will come, so it might be some changes.
When we look at the numbers, we see that Lithuania currently is the Baltic champion. Economic-wise, and of course, when it comes to some decisions, you have done some right decisions in the past, and then again, some might think, why do you need some changes? You can actually continue your course because probably you are on the right path, and all other neighbors just need to follow you, and that's it. So how do you look at that?
To my mind, it's a paradox. Yes, Lithuania enjoys, as we say, the golden age. We never lived so well as we're living today. But we should go back to the Lithuanians' mindset. They're always unhappy. And it was the biggest surprise when the latest research about happiest nation show that Lithuanians are already happy. But they always complain.
Especially Lithuanian youth is number one happiest.
But the problem is that youth are not very active in voting. Pensioners are actively voting. Most of them because they have more time. And I don't know why our young generation is not so socially and politically active, because it's their country and all those things, and their future life and current life and future life very much dependent on the decisions which has passed in the parliament or the government. But anyway, we have statistics that yes, youth was not very active during this election as well, and that's resulted in the defeat of the Laisvės or Freedom Party, which was very with a very radical but very popular among younger generation with ideas. So they behind the line, and with a very small percentage they needed to pass into the parliament, and maybe that will wake them up. But going back to the economy, say that it's for me it's a question mark why we not enjoy when we can enjoy. Yes, we see people spending much more. We see very high income, and that income is already fifth year in the row, growing for 10-12%. So it's the biggest growth in the European Union. And after such prolonged growth in salaries, we already feel that we have more money, and that reflects actually on the accounts, saving accounts. People have more than 23 billion euros on their accounts, in the bank accounts, even not in the saving account, but just on the bank accounts. And this statistics continues to grow. It means we even not the biggest spenders, but we are more prosperous, looks like at the first glance. But anyway, economy doing well, but it's not only because that we had a very so wise government. We had a good government from that point of view, but they wanted to make the tax reform, which probably can bring us to a different picture. But they failed. They failed with the help of the opposition because they wanted higher taxes, and to their mind, this Conservative Party was too modest, and that's why they blocked. And we have a very now good outcome, paradoxically, but we have a good outcome having no tax reforms. And now we're comparing ourselves with of course with Estonia. We see what outcome can we face if we can pass this reform. So it's accidentally or just circumstances so happened, but we were happy to have this situation. Still, economy moves, but that it not means that we don't have a problem. For example, production industry relationship is not in a very good shape. It's growing, but very at a small pace. In comparison with Latvia and Estonia, yes, we're in a better situation, but not in such a comfortable situation as we were before. So it's not guaranteed that our future will remain the same. To our media, I mean, Verslo Žinios point of view, and our readers, we are talking now much more about how to keep the growth of the economy. We will not survive on the organic growth because it's after ups always comes down. So that's why we think and we advocate that any government, any winning political party should address economical growth issues very seriously and put it on the top. Because what we today see, all the political parties starting their debates, their addresses, their media performances from we will increase taxes, we will increase salaries, we will increase pensions, from the social agenda, yes? And the economic agenda, it's always somewhere in the shadow, somewhere behind. And we even had not very nice expression during the presidential elections. The candidate, at that time, candidate Gitanas Nausėda, who is now re-elected, he said, it's enough to grow, it's not a direct quote, but it's enough to grow the pie, yes, cake. It's a high time to cut this cake. And to my mind, economists saying very populist things. Yes, you can kill economy just giving away everything, but what you need tomorrow, what we can do. So we would like that to create the mindset of the nation, mindset of the politicians and people that growing the cake, it's a permanent job. And we must create such a circumstances that Lithuania could be a very competitive country. We cannot address all the problems of economic growth, which were, for example, pointed in Mario Draghi report to the Parliament, European Parliament. We are too small. We don't have enough resources and enough intelligence to address all the points, but we can pick up out of those some priorities which we can address and which we can manage and which can guarantee our economic growth. So we pointed out recently to our readers with the help of the business associations, 6 priorities which we would like to politicians to take to their agendas and to make the top of their agenda.
Some of you have probably heard the saying that the real people who run companies are CFOs. So it depends, of course, but financial directors have increasingly high influence in the company. If it grows, does it fast, and things get complex. Those are people who not only rule the Excel sheets, but get their hands dirty to figure out refinancing deals, factoring, leasing agreements, investment policies, etc. Their opinion is not usually heard on media, but thanks to SEB Bank's annual research, their voice is out there, and it's really worth to listen to them to figure out what's in the economics next. I invite Ints Krasts, the board member at SEB Latvia, to guide me through these voices.
Actually, it's 10th year, so it's been quite a while since we're doing this every year. So we are asking CFOs to answer 14 questions. Some of those questions vary from year to year, but majority stays the same to keep a track. Actually, the main reason behind is to see the sentiment, the outlook of quite sizable part of economies. How do they see forward-looking view? What is on their desk when it comes to challenges? Basically, to have a little bit of perspective and temperature, and also to foresee upcoming either investment demands and things like these. Yeah. So we, as I said, the 10th year.
And the idea is to more or less look how your clients feel, or this is something that you measure the temperature of economics. What's the purpose?
It's both. It's actually both. As these respondents are, and roughly they are 300, roughly split 100 a country, as they are quite sizable mid-size and large corporate customers. It gives both insights, both in economy, as they compile a big part of their countries, and also our clients, how they feel, and what is the temperature that they feel. Yeah.
Can you give a little glimpse? What are the questions? What are those that you are measuring year by year and keep the track?
There, as I said, there are 14 questions. First of all, we asked to assess the business sentiment, the business outlook of upcoming 12 months. Then we ask also for biggest challenges that they face. Then also financial capabilities, how they assess their financial metrics, and also what are their main priorities going forward? What are their investment plans, provided that they have access to capital, either their own or external? And then we change from year to day based on the topicalities. Things like climate related questions, and this year it was also cyber risk questions, 2 of them.
When I look at this, usually at surveys, of course, I always look for comparisons, and either it's year by year, if you look at the year from year to year, or you look from the country to country. It's always interesting to see how neighbors are doing. So
Right.
has this been also a survey that CFOs look how their peers and colleagues are doing in the neighboring countries?
Always. I always and agree. Neighbors thing is always there. And at the same time, it is also interesting to see the comparisons between the countries by knowing what is out there in terms of economic situation, or is it GDP situation? So just a correlation to that. And always there are some similarities, and always there are some differences among the answers that we receive from the Baltic CFOs.
Yeah. Now, Lithuania being the Baltic champion, can you say that Lithuania's financial directors are more optimistic?
Well, this year, and honestly, looking backwards these 10 years, if I must say, year 2022 was in general in the Baltic CFO answers the most concerned, the most pessimistic. That was 2 years back. And that was due to many reasons, such as geopolitics, unknown inflation, supply chains, and all on that. At the same time, looking at this year's responses, we see some positiveness in all of the answers, especially, the most optimistic being Lithuanians, when they, over half of respondents respond that they see the next 12 months on the positive side. Latvian being the following with 40% roughly. Estonians a little bit more pessimistic, but still roughly 1/3 being positive. What is good that it is in all countries, the pessimists, or those who value the next 12 months either very unfavorable or not so favorable, have decreased. That's a good sign looking into future.
Yeah. Can you see also some trends looking at the industries? For example, at real estate industries, maybe more pessimistic than producers or dairy producers, or I don't know. So can you compare also industries, or is this something that is doable?
We don't particularly measure in this survey industry per industry, so I can comment more from what we see from the back that yes, definitely there are differences in the industries. And again, 2022, 2023 has been quite a challenging years when it comes to export industries, especially Estonia, where Estonian economy is a lot dependent also what happens in the Nordics. Latvia being more in between with their export markets. At the same time, Lithuania, we see quite a good effect from Poland, developments in Poland. That's a closeness there. And coming back to this year's results, we definitely see where the economies are each of the country, and that correlates to the positivism or negativism of an answers. For instance, Estonians being more pessimistic, that also correlates with their GDP, which in a half year still was decreasing. At the same time, Lithuanian GDP was growing, so that is definitely portrayed here in the answers.
Yes, I remember myself a few years back, reading some of the findings of that and of that survey, and what caught my eye was the that the financial directors, they described how they basically create their money cushions. So basically the reserves. Is this something that is now out of the picture, that companies are still looking to save money, or they are now in the investment and spending spree?
Well, this actually is a good question, and also interestingly to see throughout the years where the answers lies. we have this question, assuming if you have a spare money, where would you invest? And for instance, last year there was a pop-up in the answers where they would pay down debt, meaning that definitely the interest rate environment plays in there. This year in all of the countries, these answers were down compared to year on year, so meaning that definitely the tendencies in interest rate environment plays in. But if you look at the whole countries, the good thing is that more than half, roughly 60% of CFOs answer that they will invest either domestic, at home or abroad. So that's a good sign. At the same time, there also be times where they simply answer do nothing. So as good as it is, and we see that also from especially last number of years where there is an increase in simply accounts, the deposits accounts where the companies. So it's one of all-time highs, meaning that the companies are creating buffers when it comes to uncertainty, and especially it is seen in Estonia. So also from the answers that we see, in the questionnaires.
Yes, and finally, my final question is about this cyber security. Why did you choose to include questions about that as well this year?
As I said, we are changing 2 of the questions out of 14 every year, depending on topicalities. So what we see from the bank, also the environment, that the cyber security and all security around IT, and also the attacks, the increasing attempts, the frequency, and the evolving landscape, which is around that topic. And we wanted to ask, simply we were asking this year 2 questions. What is the biggest concern that you see in the cyber area? And basically also, who is responsible in your company about the cyber risks? And there are interesting answers. And if I may comment on those, the majority, when it comes to what are the biggest risks, are answering exactly this evolving threat landscape, which is in a way, becoming sophisticated, unknown. At the same time, also answers such as data leakages, data breaches, when it comes to being compliant to GDPR, are roughly one fifth of the answers, and such as that. And when it comes to being responsible, that's the second question. The good news is that respondents say that 70% of the respondents say that the responsibles are persons with the C-suite roles, as we call it, like either CEO, CFO, or CTO, or CIO, you name it. So that's from one angle good sign. At the same time, what was a question for us when we saw the answers is also quite a number of respondents. Like for instance, in Latvia, 16% answered that actually nobody is responsible directly for the cyber risks, which trigger us a few questions, such as, okay, maybe company is not very IT related in its business model, such as, and I guess here construction or some other less industry connected to IT, but still at the same time, that was quite an eye-opening. There is still a job for being aware of what is happening, and that is one of the jobs for the banks, to share the knowledge and what we see around when it comes to cyber risks.
Thank you very much, Baiba, for devoting your time to Median Report. This time, of course, we are talking about the CFOs and their worries about cybersecurity and the issues around it. As this latest research shows us that they are more worried about that this can be a danger to enterprises, but not only. How do you see from your perspective? Is this an actual topic right now?
Yes, cybersecurity and the worries of the changing environment is definitely on the top of the agenda of CEOs and CFOs of the companies. In Baltics, the last year, we suffered mostly from hacktivists, people who were attacking our systems, trying to make them unavailable and disturbing our services. However, now I see the trend is changing, and trend is more going towards stealing money from companies. And here we hear a lot of noisy things around larger companies. However, as the target money might be more and more, and those companies are richer, most probably their cybersecurity systems are more advanced, and those targets are quite difficult nowadays. If we compare to small and medium-sized enterprises, they are easier targets. There might be no specialists on board. The systems might be not backed up, or not all systems are backed up. No data backups available. Different issues. So, and the consequences might be very, very difficult. For instance, not only paying to cyber criminals, which I'm not advised to do, but also not capable of serving clients and running into issues from data breaches and from services not available and not earning enough money even to survive. And I've heard cases that companies simply are going bankrupt just because of that.
Yes. Last week there was a court ruling in favor of Meta and Google, where this one Lithuanian citizen was sending basically fake invoices in hundreds of millions of euros. That seems like a crazy idea that a company can pay hundreds of millions euros, not really noticing anything. But what are the most famous those tricks that cyber criminals are using for these type of companies?
Cyber criminals are becoming more and more advanced, and I have to say that using features of artificial intelligence are very in favor of them, and companies simply need to look carefully and check twice if the invoice received, whether it's valid, not valid. Better to check twice. Better to call client, not click on the links. Don't fall into rush, and don't fall into situations where it seems that there is no exit. Like check twice, call your partner, and simply check from your side, and not rely on all the checks made from other side.
Yes, that's a very, very good advice. Thank you very much, Baiba, for your time.
Thank you.
And we will finish up this week's episode with a wonderful conversation from Valka, the border town of Latvia, where the production facility of Iglu Soft Play has found its home. The soft toy company, with few innovative export products under their belt, have invited Mr. Vigants Lešausks to become its CEO. He's a 100% sales fanatic and talks about the business and sustainability with Leaders Ask podcast author Anders Larsson. Enjoy.
We actually have two groups of products. Yeah. One's products is Iglu. This is what we are sitting on, and there is plenty of other products around. It's for small children and actually teens. This chair is for schools, for teens. So we make consumer products for development of kids, for playing around, for having parties, and so on. So we have a selection of products that we make here, fully here. The lesser known, but actually historically more important because this was first product line, is polyethylene foam. You can probably experienced it, but for a couple of seconds as packaging when you throw it out. But it's very important product. It's made from polyethylene, extruded and made into foam blocks or sheets and different products. Used in packaging, used in like here's example on floor underlays. So when you do a laminate, you put under there this kind of
to get it kind of soft and
a little bit softer. Yeah. So this is Provent, very popular in our region, made by us. Also our brand product that we use. Yes, and polyethylene. So until recently, these industrial products were the majority of the business. Of revenue and profits, and it requires quite sophisticated machinery that we have. We have 5 extruders here that make this kind of products, different, larger, smaller tubes, and so. But all of them is made from polyethylene granule with gas, heat, and pressure is being extruded and made into this kind of product. They are,
I was thinking, how important is the physical location? Because I mean, for me it seems that it's a lot of air you're transporting when transporting this one, right?
Yes. So location is very important, and I would say we are a little bit pressured because we are with the back pressed against Russia. Yeah. So for us to deliver the product, we can just go one way. So we go to Scandinavia, to Baltics, obviously, and to Poland we can go. Poland has quite a lot of companies doing it. So Poland is somewhere we are not selling much, and there is a lot of companies doing at home. And the further you go, the more it's shipping cost impacts your competition, being able to compete or not. The price, how good price you can give. So we supply mostly Baltics and Scandinavia with pure foam products, but the more advanced products like floor underlays and also heat shields and different products that are laminated with different other physical properties, we send all over Europe. And actually our largest markets for these kind of products are UK, for example, Germany, Switzerland, and all over Europe, also Scandinavia, obviously. So this kind of product is sold all over Europe, and recently we started exporting. One of our partners exporting to Asia, also this kind of product. So, and it's actually, let's say, tip. Like if you find something simple and add some value, add some story, why and how it's being used, you can actually increase value significantly so that the logistics become less and less a burden for you, and you can ship it.
Moving away from bulk and more added value product.
Yeah. So it's the first stage of value added product from foam, which is kind of basic, more material, to more advanced. Yes, and foam is our bread and butter, and from it we make Iglu. Because Iglu in here is just
one. So this is the next level of that added value then, right?
Inside here is just one foam block cut with a special machinery. So it's a little bit soft, but firm at the same time, right? So inside there is this block. There is no glue, no nothing. So it's fully recyclable. It's already 30% recycled. So it's very sustainable, very durable, and so that's why Iglu is our even more value-added product if you look from foam perspective. So and that's how Iglu actually was founded. That employees was trying to make something more out of the foam, what we can do about it. So they decided to try out to cover with something to make building blocks or blocks for kids. So it evolved now into product portfolio for Iglu that we sell. Yeah, and the difference is that Iglu is so high value added that we can ship worldwide. So our Iglu main markets are US, Canada, and we ship also to Australia and all over the world. So yeah, find value for any product and then all world is open for it.
Interesting. That's kind of forward integration, you can say, in
Yes.
Innovation and product development.
Yeah, and it's not like genius innovation. Sometimes you just take block, cut it into something, cover with leather, market it, and it becomes totally different product. Yes, and it's the same foam, the same thing. Yeah.
So then I assume that the ambition that investors have with the company and what you also have and one task that is to grow in the most value-added area the globe is your market. Kind of there is virtually no limitation there.
Yeah, with the foam in region, we have reached some market share where every next stage is harder and harder to reach. Yes, it's still profitable and still possible. We have some competitors in Sweden and so on, but there is limited growth potential. Yes, we have new projects, new applications for the foam, but Iglu, all world is open. So you can grow it like to infinity. Yeah? So that's why, yes, investors and myself, we believe that Iglu, the soft blocks is the way to go. And our blocks are different in the sense that they are made from this foam, not from polyurethane, which is like soft one. So we have also product in the market which is different in the physical properties. So people like it, and we believe that we can offer something new, something that is not easy to replicate by others. And since we have all the value chain in-house, we can very fast also adapt and change and make new products, new shapes.
How do you sell the product then if you want to reach a global market? I mean, what's your sales channels?
Sales channels are e-commerce. We are a direct consumer company mostly. Over 80% of Iglu is being sold directly from Valka and shipped directly from Valka to consumers' doors. So we actually get in touch with those consumers and we get instant feedback on quality, on different preferences and so on. So we have our e-shops, we have Amazon shops, we have other platforms we sell. On US we have also Amazon, obviously we have own e-commerce store, and we also sell on Walmart e-commerce store, which is many say it's hard, but for us, yeah, we are there. And I wouldn't say that volumes are high there. Let's be totally honest. We still need to crack it, but we recently started. So Walmart.
How much of volumes go through your own e-commerce versus Amazon's and others?
About 50-50.
50. Okay, so it's 50% still in your own channel then.
Yeah. About 50%. It changes. Like previously, it was more on Amazon and other platforms, but now, since I joined and with our investors also advice, we focus very much on own channels. So we have a direct exposure to the customer. We have a direct channel. We can communicate. We can ask feedback. We can iterate. We can understand what kind of new colors we can try out and what they want. And this is very important if you understand.
Profitability might be a sensitive question, but is it different in the channels?
Yes, it's very different.
Okay, so it's better to sell it yourself.
I mean, the gross margin is higher, obviously, in direct channels.
But you have a cost to
but
drive traffic.
advertising,
Well.
yes.
Yeah.
So, and that's where our e-commerce team, we have in-house e-commerce team that works with this and balances out. So yeah, platforms, recently the costs, different fees or something have risen on platforms. So it's not walk in the park. It's not just, pure money. Just put some product on and then have millions. We have also some B2B partners that resell our product on their platforms. But Iglu at this moment is in no retail store worldwide. We are just online at the moment and keep growing. We think we will get into retail space with partners there, but right now we focus on online, and this year all production, everything is limited. We had not enough capacity to produce.
You're running on full capacity.
We were running. Now in summer we a little bit slowed down to get a vacation, some breathing room. We made a stock, so we are ready for. So yeah. But we scaled our production 3 times since September, already tripled our production capacity. So we believe that for holiday season, we are quite ready to fulfill demand.
Is that the peak season, like with many toys?
Yes.
It's before Christmas.
Yeah. Last year, it was hell. We were out of everything. Like single block, there was nothing. Like everything was sold by...
So you start to build up quite big warehouse in the autumn here then? Or?
Yeah, since the business is seasonal, yes, and also big thanks to our finance partners, SEB, that they understand this seasonality. So we need to build quite a large stock in the first half of the year, so that second half of the year we still produce, but the stock allows us to kind of ship more than we are able to produce. So and it's huge planning. It's planning forward, and this summer is basically, actually right now, end of July is the last opportunity to make any adjustments for holiday season for factory. So if we decide to make product in different color and still be able to deliver by Christmas, it's actually last couple of weeks now to say yes or no, like which color we go with.
Everything is lined up. It's fully booked.
You have to order some leather, you have to get it here, you have to produce, you have to ship containers to US and stock it so that by November it's there. So the cycle is quite large, significant time. So summer is when you actually make Christmas gifts.
Wow. I see a lot of planning in order to have it running.
Yeah, and when you have company that grows very fast, like multiple times year over year, it's hard to predict because there is no data.
No.
And second thing, we are this year surprised. We introduced new color combinations and we've seen that those new combinations overtook immediately all of the sales. So it means it's so fast changing that what was selling last year Christmas, this year might not be even in the store or sell so little. So you kind of predicting right now what will be the color and trying to kind of see what trends are there and so on. And the impact is crazy because again, I'm data-driven person with my history, and also in the team we discuss like I might like this color or that color or this color, but world doesn't think like that. Yeah, we have own limitations here in Latvia and region. We might like more Scandinavian colors, like more gray or like cold colors. We might Germans like more vivid colors like reds and greens and so on. In US they like white color, which is
very practical with small kids. Right?
Yes. For us, the first reaction was like, white? Why? Like exactly why? But we introduced, and it's quite popular. So it's and this planning means also a lot of guessing tastes, shapes, color, like sizes, and so on.
And this is why it's important for you that you have a very direct access to the customer then, to get this kind of feedback, what they like, what the new ideas and so on, I guess.
Yeah, they're sending us email saying, oh, can I get this product in I don't know, banana yellow? I mean, like, why do you need that? I say, oh yeah, actually this is new trend, and they send picture of the home and there's everything. Let's say, just example, like banana yellow. I'm like, okay, let's make a photos. That's why we have actually studio in the factory, so that if we make a new product, we make immediately pictures of the product, of the prototype.
Try it out.
We put it out. We send a newsletter. We see what's the response rate. We say, oh, people like it. Okay, let's introduce as a like normal color combination. Some color combinations just doesn't work, or some shapes doesn't work. The people just not buying it. So that's it. Okay, we are just phasing it out. That's it.
You have been writing a couple of books about how to sell in a really good way. I think you have lectures in terms of selling. You have been in several companies helping out how to drive sales. And this is obviously the task in this company as well, in addition to ramping up production and so on. So what's the key success factor? I mean, how do you drive traffic in an e-commerce world to people to find out that this is a product and this is a product that I want?
E-commerce is wild jungle. It's like really a jungle out there. It's hard to predict, so you literally test hundreds of different things. It's evolution kind of approach. You test different things, you do research, you understand, okay, this works, it doesn't work. By markets, like how aggressive you are with your messaging, what kind of messaging lands, and which markets. So you just do research, what others doing, try the same, see if it works, then you scale it. But yeah, a lot of experimenting, a lot of experimenting with the content, with the pictures, with the products, with the messaging, wording, channels, like where do you advertise, how do you bring message with the email or with the different advertising platforms, Google, Facebook, and others. Also social media content. So we do all of it. Mm-hmm. If there is, I don't know, the only thing I think we don't do is advertising in Bing, but that might be a mistake. For example, in US, if we don't do that, but we just don't have energy or this people power right now to do it. But and then some things start good and then they end up. Like some platforms in Sweden, for example, there is some local we tried. It kind of started promising and then died. Yeah. And
how important is advertising in general in order to reach new clients then? I think historically it was more kind of word by mouth that the Iglu products were selling. Mm-hmm. How important is advertising?
It's like, I don't know, like the people don't know. So you have to get your product in front of people. And in nowadays, when there is so much everything going on, advertising is the way to get your product somewhat little for a couple of seconds, maybe in front of the person, just to showing what you can do with it. The word of mouth goes later when you are established brand in the region, in the market. So for example, Denmark, people know a little bit more about products and they buy a lot more. In Latvia, they know about products and they buy more. In markets like US, nobody knows about us. And if you go online, there is many similar looking products with different price points. So then you are forced or tasked to show quality that because our quality is way, way, way better than anything else you can buy in the market. And when you show these small details, the people look, oh yeah, like I never thought about, I don't know, quality of zipper or quality of leather or quality of stitching or even the color of a thread you use for, like, because every color,
matching,
it's matching. So these are small things that when I tell you, like, oh yeah, now I noticed, but like when you sit on it or start using, don't even think about it. It's just there. And you communicate those different values, see what works, what listened. Sustainability, we also communicate and try to bring out. Actually, I was surprised that sustainability does not land well. Not land well, it's not effective.
It doesn't really add value in that perspective, or?
I think it adds value, but it does not kind of bring the customer. I was surprised because we won this Green Excellence Award in National Award, and we communicated with customers. There was a nice letter from me as a CEO, what we think about sustainability, and we are happy that people recognize what we do, and it didn't drive sales much.
I hope we could deliver an interesting median report for you this week to widen your perspective and inform you on Baltic economies and also business ventures. That is our mission, and although this has been only the 6th episode, we start to get many comments and feedback. Thank you for watching and listening. This means the world to us. My name is Kristaps Petersons, and I see you again next week at YouTube's Median Report channel. Bye.